I made him
What
talk
did you
about. I'm rocking my paintball outfit.
Yo.
That's cute. I'm gonna be normal. I'm gonna be normal.
You really think about it.
Is it a what?
It's a romper.
It's a onesie. Magaya Uber. Magati 6-9 break.
Hey loves, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another episode of Best and Worst, where we dive into our best and worst life experiences. Today's guest is a very funny guy.
Don't do this.
He has been making jokes. Okay, so prepare for some humor. Mpho! Welcome, how are you?
I'm alive with possibilities. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So are you ready to get a bit personal?
Let's do this. I mean, nothing says personal like sitting on suede couches. This is how you know we're gonna get personal.
Yeah, guys, let's get started.
Okay, so with both of you having more experience in this than most people realize, what would you say is the best and worst thing about being sober around drunk people?
Yo.
Damn. You can go first.
Start with the best thing. The best thing about being sober around drunk people is that drunk people never put their phone on silent. That's what happens. People who drink on the jobs.
Hey, bounce.
No, I think for me, the best thing about being sober around drunk people is you get to see everything unfold.
Yeah.
When you've been drinking, you never know how things ended up happening. Like, how did we get from this to this? How did this? When you're sober, you see everything. You see people's behaviors. You see them change. I've seen now that it takes my friends about 4 to 5 drinks for their personalities to change. I know after the 5th drink, I'm no longer seeing Tsitsi. I'm seeing the demon. Right? And the worst thing about being around drunk people when you're sober is that drunk people repeat themselves.
Yeah, facts.
And the more they
That
repeat
is
themselves,
facts.
the more they get close to you and they spit.
Yo!
And they pull you in.
That is so true.
And no one loves you like a drunk person.
Have you seen that meme of that guy, that colored guy who's like talking and his veins are sticking out to a girl and the girl's sitting there like...
Drunk!
Yo!
And no one loves you like a drunk person.
Yeah, that's true.
Words of affirmation.
And they want to tell everybody that they love them and they're such a good person. Yeah, that's right.
That's mine.
And then the worst?
That's my worst.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So best is being vigilant, worst is...
Yeah, okay, true. And then my best thing about being around drunk people, I think my ability to reason in the situation. Like, when you are drunk, when you're intoxicated, you lose that and you're just going with the flow. So it's nice being the person who's going to be like, no, guys, we're not going there. Or, yeah, I think that's the best part. And just waking up with no regrets. Yo, guys, for me, I think the morning after is even better than the night before. Like, being able to just wake up feeling good, staying in your routine. I love that about being sober. And then my worst thing about being around drunk people, I 100% agree with you. Like, when I sit into one over and over again, asking the same question, you must answer the same question.
Yeah.
And also just have, like, I'm a little bit impatient. I'm actually very impatient. So even let's go home, it takes drunk people like an hour just to gather themselves.
Yes.
Umuntu doesn't know where their phone is. Friend, have you seen my bag? That time the bag is on their body.
Or can we
Like,
leave after this song?
Yo, it's like, wait, one more drink. Ah! And you know what? I can't judge because I'm also that person when I'm intoxicated. So it's all love.
Yeah, it's almost like we don't like the versions of ourselves.
Yes.
We see those versions in other people. We go,
It's like, oh my God, do I do this? And when you're sober, you see so much. Hey, that's why I hate going to the club. Because you just sit there and you're like, kanti kunje.
Exactly.
Whereas when you're drunk,
you go with the flow. Anything happens. And I'm a yes man. So if you go, we're going to the next place.
Yeah,
yes.
same.
And I'm a instigator. I like ordering stuff.
But don't you have like a switch? I have a switch where when I decide I'm going home, no one can tell me anything. I'll even leave without saying bye.
But that's the best way to exit.
Yeah, it's amazing.
The best way to exit. Someone told me, they said, bruh, when you're ready to leave, just leave. Because those people won't even notice that you're gone.
Exactly.
They'll
in
be
the morning,
like,
they'll be like, oh, did you go?
When are you trying to say goodbye to everyone? And when you say bye to drunk people, you're never going to leave.
You're not going.
What do you mean you're going now?
You can't leave us.
You can't leave us.
Hey, man.
Sober life is the best life.
That's facts.
Moving on to your best and worst in-person fan encounter you've ever had.
I mean, you were shooting on the street, on the pavement the other day.
that was a calm one. So I'd say my best. I don't like calling my supporters my fans. My best interaction with my supporter.
People.
Like
for me, if you're gonna buy a ticket to come to my show, you're not a fan. You're supporting me.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I have a weird vibe with it.
Yeah, no, I'm the same.
So my best encounter with a supporter, I would say, is just meeting like people who get emotional and people who want to talk about the impact that I've had even in their own growth in their career. Inspiring them to get into a space that they never thought they'd be able to excel in because of what they see that I do. So that's probably my best. Just knowing that I'm empowering people in some sort of way. And then my worst, I think the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me, I don't know if I've told this story on YouTube before, is when someone followed me to the bathroom. Guys, I understand if you I might never see this girl again, but following someone to the bathroom and waiting for them outside the cubicle is the creepiest thing. Like, I'm literally walking out, I'm tucking my shirt in line phone. Hi, Mihlali! Ah! No.
You weren't wearing the onesie.
No. Thank God.
If you're wearing... now you're naked in there.
Yo, I think that's my worst. I like ngathi privacy sana asenayo ngeke.
That's so crazy. That is, look, that's happened to me a couple of times where
really?
But that's I thought that was just normal at the club.
It's weird.
It is weird. Like, it's weird when it happens the first couple of, but you realize that, especially with people that have been drinking, you realize they find the opportunity, because normally when you're in a club, right, you're in a section, right? You're in a secluded section. You got security. They don't have access to you, so they'll sit and they'll watch you.
Yeah, that's
so the moment you move when you go to the bathroom, even if you go to the bathroom with like a bouncer or something, the bouncer waits outside.
Yeah. So
that person will go, "Here's my chance.
Oh, bit.
Here's my chance," and they come and they try to find a perfect balance between like speaking to you just after you come out, you know. So that's happened. But that was actually one of my weird encounters. So the worst for me was I think we were doing a show in where were we? Nelspruit. We did a show in Nelspruit, so we went to an after party afterwards, and there was a dude who we were in the VIP section at the after party, but he kept telling me how much he loves drunk people. I love you, this, that. I want you to have something. And I was just like, no, it's cool, what. And then I had to go to the bathroom. At some point I had to go. And he followed me with the bouncers. He followed me. And then when I came out the bathroom, he put a hat on me, like his top. What is a beanie? Like a beanie.
Yeah.
He put a beanie on me.
Was
like,
he
I want
wearing
you to have
it?
that. Yeah, he was wearing it.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I want you to have that. And I'm like, and then he goes, it was my grandmother's.
Aibo.
I'm like, hey, this guy. And then he goes, she died. Oh, yeah. This guy, hey.
Oh no, so what did you do?
I'm trying to have the paper. Like, this is sentiment. Keep this. Like, what are you doing? No, you don't understand how much I love you. Yeah, man, I just need you to have that. I was like, drunk people.
Did you take the beanie?
No, I couldn't.
Yeah, others of forget saying also I where's my grandmother's beanie.
Oh, imagine sing pause. Now I have weird cravings.
Oh no.
No ways, no.
Shame, man. That's
Left
so
that
sweet though.
be.
He has real love for you.
He does, but there's a line, and I think sometimes it freaks people out, that line. Like, yes, it's okay to that, because also the fact that you go, I have supporters and fans, means you don't live in this delusional world where you've got crazy screaming fans. Like, that freaks me out when people are like, and I'm just like, dog, we're normal, you know, because I, in my mind, I haven't thought of myself as a. So I find it weird when people act like, I'm just like, relax, let's talk. I'm here. Let's have a chat. But for me, my best encounter was, it's actually a sad one. There was a guy who came up to me after the show and said, yo man, today I was actually planning to.
Oh really?
And someone at the office suggested that I go to comedy. I've never been to comedy before. And he's like, you got on stage and you spoke about the things that are plaguing me, and you made me laugh at myself. You know, you gave me the ability to laugh at my problems, because I could see that you've been through the same stuff, but you're laughing about it. So Mihlali. And he's like, like whatever he was planning on doing, he's not gonna do anymore.
I hope he didn't.
I hope so.
That's
Donna,
so
if you're still there,
powerful,
send a
hey.
DM. No, but like, for someone to actually say that, and you go, look, I love what I do. It's the best thing in the world. It gives me the greatest satisfaction. I'm doing what I'm passionate about. But it's that thing, you know, when pastors say, even if I'm speaking to one person.
Yeah.
So just the fact that I was able to, with my jokes and whatever, make someone reconsider that and save a life.
It's crazy how much impact you can have on people through just fulfilling your purpose in life. Yeah, it's very beautiful. Shout out.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yes, Reg.
What's the best and worst decision you've ever made for your career?
Ooh, best and worst decision for your career.
I'll go. The best decision I've ever made for my career is starting, honestly, just starting, because I had so much doubt in the beginning. Like,
Damn,
there was
one
other person who was on YouTube as South African, and she lived in Cape Town. So I remember when I joined the space, sometimes you reach out to people, and I even understand now in the position that I'm in that it's difficult to respond to every single person. So there's people I'd reach out to for advice and get very few to no responses at all. So I had to put it on myself to do all the research, and even if I didn't have the perfect camera, I didn't even know how to focus a camera. I just started my channel. The audio was crap, the framing was horrible, but I was like, I'm just gonna start doing this because I'm passionate about it. And I grew with my experience. Like, I grew into perfection, and I'm not saying that my craft is perfect, but you guys get what I mean, right?
It's amazing.
Thank you.
I mean,
but you grow into it. Like, you don't have to wait until you're extremely good at something to do it. Especially as a creative, you can figure it out along the way. Obviously now there's more pressure, but yeah, I think for me that's my best thing, because it afforded me, it afforded me amazing opportunities.
Now we know it's an iPhone.
Yeah, it afforded me great opportunities, and it taught me a lot about myself, and also just working with different people. So yeah, that is the best thing I ever did for my career, is just starting my channel. And actually, when I started my YouTube channel is when I got my first paid gig. And I've told the story before on my YouTube, so I won't get into it. And after that, doors just opened. It was like one door after the other. And the worst, I don't want to mention names.
Oh!
But
What happened with Lasizwe?
Friend, don't listen to him. He's just jealous of our relationship, okay? The worst decision I've made for my career, I think, is not listening to my gut when it comes to participating in certain interviews. And yeah, like, there's certain things that I've done where it doesn't have a positive outcome, and instead creates a negative conversation and adds to fuel to already a fire that's already existing. So
Does it rhyme with smototo?
I don't know, it's too bad. So yeah, that's my answer, guys. Next.
Ah, man. Best decision I ever made for my career is investing in myself. You took my answer, by the way.
Sorry.
Yo, I was listening to it, I was like, that's so dope. I was going to say that.
It's calm.
Yeah, no, I think the best decision I ever made with my career is investing in myself. I think a lot of the times people place the success of their career in other people's hands.
Yeah.
Because you come into an industry where you feel like you don't know stuff, right? So then you expect people to manage you, guide you, get you opportunities.
Yeah.
But you don't realize that you get those things yourself.
Exactly.
You just mentioned it now with your YouTube, right? That you put out content. What people don't realize is your social media, all of it is a business card.
Yep.
That is our business card now.
Yeah.
The fact that we see you do stuff means, oh, I can approach you for this. There are people in boardrooms who take clips of what you do and they pitch you to clients. Like, this is the person we want to work with. You're just putting your work out there. You don't realize, meantime, someone is saying, oh, this is the person we see fit for the brand, da, 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 da. Then they call you, we have a gig for you. So a lot of the times we allowed people to manage us, and when people manage us, they steal from us, they misrepresent us. You know, you find yourself in financial ruin, or you find yourself being blocked from certain opportunities just because that person doesn't realize that this is something you might have wanted to participate in or do. So I think investing in myself and being in full control of every decision I make and every opportunity that comes my way, I think is the best thing I could have done for my career. The worst thing I could have done for my career was a fall victim to, I don't want to call it peer pressure, but I feel like a lot of us industry people, let's put it that way, we come into the space very lonely when you start, and then all of a sudden when you Mihlali, everyone wants to be your friend, so you think everyone is your friend, and then you slowly start realizing they're not.
The intentions are not good.
The intentions are not good. They're just your colleagues. You guys hang around because you have similar interests, and then you end up doing things that you regret. You know, you end up being in spaces where you regret. And the problem with us, like I said, is you are the business card.
Yeah.
So if we see you acting a fool somewhere because of this, or doing this somewhere, or whatever, it hurts your brand. And I think for me, it's just falling victim to, and a lot of it has to do with like drinking and being under the influence, and you do some pretty stupid things. And I think that's the worst thing for my career, is not treating it like, see, like how athletes treat their career.
Yeah, they strict.
I feel like that's how entertainers should treat their career. They should go, here's my time to party, but here's my time to work. And when I work, I work. That's how movie stars also work. They work like athletes. So that's the one regret I have, like not having that mindset in the beginning.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Thanks.
Okay, and what would you say is the best and worst career advice you've ever received?
Worst career advice, someone said, don't eat pork.
What does that have to do with anything?
Someone said to me,
are you being serious?
Yes, they were like, stop eating pork, you'll make more money.
But there are people, I think it has a lot to do with
and it happened.
Choice of, are you being serious?
Yeah.
You stopped eating pork?
I stopped eating pork and I made more money.
Are you being serious?
I've literally spoken about this before. It's the weirdest thing. It's
damn,
the worst advice, but it worked.
I'm gonna stop eating pork.
Do it for 3 months and then let's have a chat.
But good type pigs are dirty. I think obviously even the Bible speaks about it.
So with us black people, apparently pork also blocks your dreams.
But is that like based off ancestral belief or Christianity?
I think that's a little bit ancestral.
Yeah.
And then I think from a if I took that beanie.
Damn.
Yeah, so there's all these, but that's like the weirdest. Let's say that's the weirdest advice I ever got for my career. But I think the best advice I ever got for my career was, someone told me, every time I get a paycheck, I must create an account. Whatever I make, whatever the check is, I must take 25% of it and throw it there. Every single check I get, 25%, 25%, 25%. And when tax season and all this stuff rolls around, that is the account that you use to pay for all that stuff. And I got into the habit of doing that until I understood how to navigate business tax. And I think that's honestly the best advice anyone could have ever given me was around tax, because I was hit with a hectic,
The bombshell.
hectic SARS bill, and I'm not one to. I don't like debt. I don't like kolotering anything.
Yeah.
So everything I have, I own, and I'd rather wait and work and accumulate stuff like that. So when I got hit with that tax bill, like it felt like my life was ending.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
And SARS doesn't play.
They don't, and they give you a time limit. You know, it's like ex repo. They're like, okay, here's the bill. You got 12 months. 12 months. You got to make this happen in 12 months.
In 12 months.
So imagine waking up every day.
And Betty, okay, let's agree on monthly installments.
Yes.
Yes, yo, those people are hard, man.
They're hardcore.
They are hardcore.
And I remember that, like, the first installment I paid them was like for 6 months. And they weren't even like, hey, well done, man. They were just
Thank you so much. Shout out, we appreciate your efforts.
They were just like, we'll see you in June, okay? and luckily I was able to squash it even before the time. But still, it was such a big lesson learned. And I think when it comes to our finances, because we've seen the story so many times, you know, and we still let it happen to us. So I think
that's true.
that's the best advice I've gotten. Yeah, and then I think, like my worst advice I ever got. Ugh, that's a tricky one. But I think the worst advice I ever got was, and this is just me being honest, the worst advice I ever got was around substance, around performance. So a lot of people would advise that just to get the edge off, because being a comedian is very nerve-wracking, right? You're going to get up on that stage, we won. There's no backup dancers, we won. And you have to entertain these people with your thoughts and your words. You have to tickle them with your words for the next however long. And people would advise that you have a drink to take the edge off. And I thought, I mean, at the time you think it works, you know, like, let me have a shot and then let me go on, I'm in the mood. But then you realize that you need to do that every time you work, right? So imagine every time you have to record, you're like, the pause guys, I'll ting it. And, you know, it's not sustainable. I think that's the worst advice. And also, hooking up with supporters.
Damn, you're hectic.
Yeah, that's why I said it's gonna be a bit hectic. And I'll tell you why that is the worst advice. Because sometimes when you're with a group of people that, you know, like you're with other entertainers. Yeah,
it's a norm.
It's a norm, right? But what you don't realize,
it's giving DJs.
But it happens in all facets of entertainment, even sports, right? But what ends up happening is you don't realize this, especially for someone in our position where you have supporters, people who buy tickets to come and see you, is once you do that with a supporter, you've lost them as your supporter.
True.
Right?
True.
And you learn that the hard way is once you cross that line, you've lost that, and you also kill whatever image that person had of you. And so I think that was being misled and being pressured into doing stuff. I think that was the worst advice I got, was around drinking and hooking up with supporters. PC language.
Best career advice I've received, I would say, was also from someone who's in the entertainment space. She's very successful. There was a time where I was trending a couple of years ago for something.
You trend all the time.
Yeah, but this
makes it seem like, there was a time I was trending.
So she basically DM'd me. She's like, hey, I hope you're okay. I know there's a lot going on right now. Basically, just to give you guys a bit of context, someone misconstrued something I said on my YouTube channel. I was talking about my own personal experience, and then, you know, some people started to elaborate on it and be like, oh my gosh, that was so problematic. And I'm like, but it's what I had experienced. I never said it was okay. And I did even mention in the video that looking back at it, I don't think it was a good thing. But anyways, I'm not going to get into detail about that. So the person who had then reached out to me was advising me on some, you know what you said. The majority of people understand where you came from. You actually gave very good advice. So don't respond. Basically, in essence, not responding. Because what I've realized about the digital space is that when someone has concluded something about you, if they feel a certain way about you, you can say anything.
It's not going to change it.
It's not going to change their mind. You could say that cup is orange, but it's so problematic that you are saying it's orange because yabo. So
you can see it's navy orange.
Exactly. So sometimes it's just better to keep quiet, switch off your phone, allow people to have their little rah back and forth, and then come back when you are not going to be impulsive, in your response and not even respond at all. So that was the best advice I've ever received. It's given me so much peace. I don't go back and forth with people on social media. I'm not out here giving people attention that don't even deserve it. My time, my energy, protecting my peace.
Yes.
And then the worst career advice I've ever received ties back to a question that I did previously. I think it's just participating in interviews or various conversations that have had a negative effect and outcome. So, yeah.
Nice.
I think that's the worst. Because, when I say career advice, it's obviously someone who's like, no, just do the interview, someone pushing that. So, sometimes it's good to listen to your gut.
Yeah, I see, and that's why I don't like people around you who think they know what's best for you. You know what's best for you. The people around you must just help you facilitate.
And you learn that the hard way.
Yes.
As you grow as a creative, because I think we put so much trust, especially if, obviously some of us you have studied, but then there's certain things that you can't necessarily study for. There's no course in being a YouTuber. Yes, there's courses in editing and production. So now when you put these people in your lives that you trust to manage your brand, you will listen to anything and everything they said because you feel like they have more experience and understanding. But also, it is your brand, like what you were saying. And no one knows what you want and desire for your baby like you do. So, yeah, boy.
Okay, so moving on to, in general, the best and worst compliment you've ever gotten.
The worst compliment would be like someone who, people always think it's cute to compliment you on your age.
Dungeon.
But they don't realize that it hurts.
Oh, like saying, oh, you look good for your age. How is that hurtful though? Oh, it's highlighting the fact that you are older.
Yeah. Because I'm young at heart. Like, I identify as 27.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's hard, It's hard being a young person and being called Grootman.
Hey, man. Yo.
Imagine.
Damn.
Yo, hey dog, yo, I'm here with the legend. And these kids. Hey, you mind if I do a video?
Yo.
I'm here with the legend. I'm like, legend. Did I become a legend, bro? I'm still here. I'm creating. When did that happen? Yeah, so I think that's the worst for me when people make me feel old. But I think the best compliment, ne, Rich?
Yeah.
The best compliment I ever got was in Bloemfontein. I can't remember what gig it was. I think it was one of those Makufe comedy gigs. And usually what happens with those gigs is the important people sit in front, all the officials and the whatnot. And I can't remember, but I did this joke. And this lady fell, very important person, she fell off her chair.
Laughing.
That's like crazy. She fell off her chair and she just laid there. She couldn't. And I was like, that's it. Night mate. That was the best compliment.
My best compliment I've ever received, I think it was actually yesterday when I was shooting with my friend Mongezi. So Momo was like to me, I'm very disciplined and she admires that about me. And I think sometimes I'm very hard on myself about being disciplined because as a creative, you run your own schedule.
Yeah.
Your productivity is up to you. And it's very easy to lose, that discipline or to get out of routine. So it's nice to hear someone sort of validate me and, make me feel good about what I'm doing. Like, you're doing something right. So
those are things
shout out
we
to my
don't see.
friend. Yeah.
We see you, we see how you look, we see how you are, but we don't see the discipline it takes.
Yeah.
We don't see those things,
That's
you know.
true.
What
That's
what
true.
time you go to sleep.
Behind the
what,
scenes.
Yes. we
Because
don't
people
that.
see like the final product. Yeah, thanks.
That's a dope compliment.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much, Momo. And then
Shout out Momo.
it's my girl. And then the worst compliment I've ever received. I can't really think of one that really offended me. But I think one of the ones that always make me feel like, what is that supposed to mean? Is when people say things like, oh my gosh, you are so beautiful for a black girl. Or it's like, you are so pretty, it's like you're not black. It's like people say like, it's like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say about the standard of beauty when it comes to black women? Black women are gorgeous. Just say someone's beautiful, but don't add ngati or use something else in order to be pretty. So that one is always weird for me.
And being a female, has anyone given you that weird dual compliment about like you with makeup, you without makeup?
Yeah, but it happened years ago on Twitter when I've always been open about my journey with acne. You know, I've struggled into my adulthood. So that's why I was even mentioning, like, I take flaxseed supplements and zinc and whatnot. So there was a point where it was my first couple of years on YouTube when my skin was breaking out. And I'm going to vlog without makeup, son. I don't care. You can see me with or without makeup. So someone was like on Twitter, yo, kanti unje without makeup, because I had marks and stuff for my breakouts. And luckily, people have seen me before without makeup. So there was quite a few people who were like, firstly, Mihlali is always transparent about her skin journey. She's never hidden how she looks without makeup. She's not like she photoshops herself in her videos. So it was just some stupid boy. So yeah, I've had
a boy on top of that.
Yeah, men and women's business, son. Find yourself
You know
out.
what's the craziest thing? When you click into that person's profile.
Yeah,
Who's
it's
talking
always the ones who look like toenails. Who are in 155 years who always have to say something. Like, I've never ever seen someone who looks good, who's doing well, who feels good about themselves, say anything negative.
Yes.
It's always the one who how am I? No.
Then you get upset with yourself. But did I let this
Yeah,
guy upset me?
Yes, so yeah. Next question.
Someone's child looks like a toenail.
No, but I said greater. I said what I said.
Okay,
Yo.
without mentioning any names, your best and worst experience working with friends.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
My best experience working with a friend was my first ever Beauty and the Beat masterclass. I have to say, I'm going to mention her name. Shout out Mpho, my best friend. Guys, I was so stressed. You know, like with the first time you do an event, there's certain things that don't go according to plan. Running behind schedule, certain things. She was actually my model on the day. I'd also to do me a favor. My friend stepped up so much for me. She got in my car. She drove to my house to get things a bit shorter at the venue. She became like an event coordinator / model / Mihlali's therapist, because at some point I was crying. So yeah, love her so much. Thank you, Tebi. Mwah. And then my worst experience working with a friend, I have. There is. Love her now. We've squashed the beef. But there was a time where I was working with a friend of mine, and you know, she took us away on like a trip. It was like a trip with a lodge, and we had to shoot content. And you know what? These are brand trips though. Like, I think after that I really learned that there's a lot of pressure when it comes to brand trips, because there's a limited amount of time. So there's pressure on making sure that we execute all the content during our brief stay. So that I felt like I was under so much pressure. It's like, wake up, get ready, be here, shoot here, change, shoot here. We have to go, you know. And I panic a lot under pressure. I have a bit of anxiety. So I remember I just broke down and cried on the last day of the trip. I was like, you are stressing me so much. Like, I can't even take 2 seconds to breathe. So I think that was the worst experience, but I can't blame it on her. As I've grown, I've really learned that's how the game is. So just gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Best experience from the top of my head, I have a lot working with friends, because I work with a lot of my friends. But I think the one experience where I really got to work with my actual like entertainment friends, which has been amazing. and it's the number one show currently. It's The Masked Singer.
You know? Oh my God, that show is amazing!
Right? And
well done, guys.
All of us are friends. You know, Stella was the newbie, and she fit in right. She fit in well with all of us, but. I've been friends with Sumizi for years. I've been friends with Jay for years. And like, I'm talking like not acquaintances, like friends, right?
Friends, yeah.
Skumba, Anele, you know? So for all of us to be in one space, making one television show every day, it's just, that has been like the
That's
best.
amazing. That show is great.
Yeah, and Ziti's also a part of that show. So that has been the best. And then I think the worst experience working with friends is betrayal, man. I'm heavy on betrayal. There's nothing worse than finding out that the person you were working with went behind your back to talk about you to a client or to try and, you know.
I've actually had something similar happen.
Exactly.
I think it's so hurtful. Hey?
It's the most devastating thing because you're like, we can get these bags and there's so many more, and then you don't have to go behind my back and then try and steal this
especially
for yourself.
when you're moving with pure intentions and you know that in a room you would always put that person forward without them even being present.
Hallelujah.
That's heartbreaking.
Hallelujah.
I'm so sorry you went through that.
Yeah, I mean we've squashed the beef now, we're okay, but it hurt my heart to know that someone did that.
I'm sorry.
Ooh. Yo! Hey. Pure intentions.
Next question.
Next.
On a bit of a more personal note.
Yes, sir.
What would you say is the best and worst trait that you've picked up or you've seen in yourself that you got from maybe your late dad?
Okay.
Ooh, best and worst trait that I picked up that I got from my late dad. Best trait I got from my late dad, my work ethic. Ability to ponder. I think I'm a panderist. I think you're also we're hustlers, dog. The fact that we're here with self-made, everything. There's a hustler spirit behind it. I think those are some of the good traits that I got from my dad, from my late father. Is work ethic. You know, great physique, I guess, because I'm tall and, you know, I'm a well-balanced human being. I look like him. So, strong genes. Strong genes. So now my daughter looks like me. So, you know, I think we've got a strong genetic base. The worst thing that I think I inherited from my father, and I notice it with myself and my siblings as well, I've got addictive personalities. So, we can easily get addicted to something.
Yeah.
You know, it's a personality trait and something we've kind of had to figure out as we grew up. And I think dealing with trauma, I think we all have a different way of approaching and dealing with trauma. And I think I used to blame my dad for taking his life when I was younger, and I thought, this guy, you know, like, I remember I used to be in varsity and I think, my life could have been so much better if my dad was still around. You know, I would have had a car, or I would have been able to do this, or I would have been able to participate in this, so my quality of life would have been better. So I ended up blaming my dad for a lot of stuff. And then when I got older and I started experiencing life challenges and struggles and pressures, and then I started getting the same feelings, I realized, oh shit, okay, this is prone to happen.
Yeah.
He was just a human having a human experience. So I think those are the worst things and those are the best things. But I think overall, as you grow up and you become a human, you go, you know what? My dad was my dad, and he did the best he could.
Yeah.
With what he had, because we don't know what they went through.
Exactly, that's true. The best trait that I've picked up from my dad. So I got this from after he had passed on, considering the circumstances. Our dads passed away in the same way. Well, for me, I would say the best trait I picked up was resilience. I've really gained a stronger fighting spirit since his passing, because I did inherit, like they do say, mental health issues can be genetic. That's what my doctor also mentioned to me. So that is actually my worst, but I'll get into that. So the best is constantly fighting. Like I've told myself that no matter how bad things get, I never want to put my parents or my family through the pain that I experienced after he took his life. So
that's why
I fight. I really fight, and I've had my depressive episodes. I've had my situations where I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore, but every day I wake up and I make a decision that I'm gonna try. I'm going to try by all means. And then the worst trait I've picked up from my dad is my dad did not talk. He didn't want to ask people for help. He was very much someone who kept himself, and that's very common amongst men, I think, because they don't want to be seen as weak, which is really something that I think we need to work on, and it's gotten better now, but obviously as Amanda Badala, it's even worse. So yeah, he didn't want to talk, and I have that sometimes, especially when I'm really not feeling like myself. I shut off completely, and I've literally had times where my mom drives to my house, insists on me opening, and she's like, talk to me, what's wrong? I know you're not okay, get up. And shout out to my mom, because that woman has saved my life on like so many occasions.
And you won't even tell her anything, you'll just be
but
MIA.
they know, even as a phone in, you don't sound like yourself. Mihlali good 10, so yeah, those are the 2 traits, guys.
Yo, that asking for help one is real, because it's hard, right? But aren't you amazed when because I remember before I checked myself into rehab, I literally told everyone, like, guys, I need help. And everyone, it's amazing how everyone around you is willing to help. Even strangers are willing to help.
That's true.
But all you gotta do is be brave enough to say, I need help. And none of us want to do that.
I think also because as individuals, we're so hard on ourselves and we judge ourselves so much that we constantly think that other people around us are looking at ourselves in that light. But in actual fact, people just want the best for you. Those who love you really just want the best for you.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to understand when you are in a dark place. But yeah. That was powerful. I love this session.
Me too.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your time. Is this the end zone?
Is this the end? Can I go put on my paintball outfit? See you to Jura. Nah.
Thank you.
Before we go.
Oh my gosh, no ways. You are a guest on this show.
I got you a little something.
Thank you. Yes. What is it? Can I unbox it on camera?
Yes, you can.
Thank you very much. Ooh. Oh, this is so sweet.
Right.
You got me a hoodie with your name on it?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I don't have anything like this.
Right, just gonna stand out.
You sell merch?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we'll put your link in bio for anyone who wants to order product.
Oh, that's dope.
And your handles on screen.
Yeah, but that's for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And it's got that,
and imagine
right?
It's like you knew.
And then no brother must be like, Manjubon.
Yeah.
Mpho. My favorite comedian.
I can't stand you. Thank you so much for watching, loves. Catch Mpho on social media. We'll put your handles on screen, but just give us a rundown of where we can follow you.
Oh yeah, you can find me at Mpho Pops everywhere. And then on Wednesdays, you can find me on PNC Skits right here on the YouTubes.
Yes, guys, do like, do comment, do subscribe. Follow him on all socials. I love you guys. Thanks for watching.
Bye, loves.
Bye, loves.
Even you guys that look like toenails. Bye. Bye, Pega now. Bye, Pega. Those same ones. Yeah.
My loves are not toenails.
No,
the
but
haters
the haters are also watching. Hey, when I'm bouncy face. Now, bye. But to the loves, Sintanda nonke makaya.